Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Progress. The gentleman in this picture is the former world champion Alexander Alekhine. That's how his last name is pronounced in the English-speaking world, but I've been told by a Russian friend that it's actually pronounced as Alekhine, or something like that anyway. There have been 16 undisputed world champions in the history of chess, starting with Wilhelm Steinitz in 1886, and the current world champion is the Norwegian Magnus Carlsen. As number 4 there you see Alexander Alekhine, and he was world champion from 1927 till 1935. He lost his world title then to the Dutchman Max Euwe, and then he regained it in the revanche match against Euwe in 1937. And he stayed world champion till his death in 1946. The position I will show you is from a game he played in Trinidad in 1939 against the chess player with the name of Nestor. Let's have a look at that position. Alekhine is white and Nestor is black. Let's have a look. Both players have their king in the corner. They both have a queen. And they both have a rook. So it's an endgame with heavy pieces as we call them. And white has 5 pawns and black has 6 pawns. So black is a pawn up. But what strikes the eye is the pawn on d7. Very close to the promotion square. Yes, it is covered well by the rook and also by the queen. But that's an important pawn in this position. And even though white is a pawn down, he is winning in this position. There's only one winning move for white in this position, and Alekhine found it. He played rook c5 to c8, and that's the winning move. Let's see why this is winning. This move is attacking black's rook, and we cannot defend that rook with, for example, queen e7, because then that queen is taken by the queen on a3. You could say, well, we can protect the rook in another way, queen b6, but that doesn't work because of the weak back rank of black. White plays queen f8 check, a very spectacular move it looks, but not really, because it's just mate on the next move. Rook takes f8 is the forced move, and then rook takes f8 is checkmate. The black king is trapped by its own pawns in front of it. Often those pawns can be great protection for the king, but sometimes you need to make a bit of air by, for example, playing h7, h6, just to make a bit of air for the king, to avoid these back rank checkmates. So protecting the rook is not a good idea. But can we not just take that pawn? That pawn is attacked twice, is not defended at all, so why do we not take that pawn? Of course we cannot take with the rook, because the rook is pinned to the king, but you can take with the queen. Unfortunately, then we have that same problem with the back rank. The same checkmate pattern, queen f8 check. Rook takes f8 and rook takes f8 checkmate. So we can't take the pawn either, quite a tricky position. Well, black found an easy solution, he must have thought. He just took the rook. Because if then white takes the rook back and promotes to a queen, then there's simply queen takes c8, and here black is winning. He has 2 extra pawns, and one of those pawns will go through to a queen, and then it's a very easily winning position. So this was all possible because the queen on e6 is protecting the c8 square through the pawn on d7. Of course Alekhine had seen this, and instead of taking the rook back, he played the miracle move. If you want to have a look yourself, you can pause the video now, because I will show you the move now. Alekhine played the beautiful move queen a3 to e7. So why is queen e7 such a great move? Putting the queen on an unprotected square. Well, let's just take that queen. Let's see what happens if we just take the queen. Queen takes e7. Well, that leads to mate in 2, because now the black queen is no longer covering the c8 square. And after d takes c8, getting a new queen, and queen e8, then queen e8 is checkmate. Again, because of the weak back rank of black, with the king in the corner and the pawns in front of his king, blocking in the king. If the pawn had been on h6 and black had made a little bit of air for his king, this would have been a completely different story, and then all these variations would not have been possible, because then the king could just flee to h7 and be safe there. Okay, so we cannot take the queen, that is clear. But what is white actually threatening here? Let's see what happens if black just makes a silly move. Let's say a6, a5, just to show you what white is threatening. Well, the threat is mate in 3, because here white can play d8 queen. It's important to play d8 queen and not d takes c8. Let's have a look after d takes c8 queen. Then the game is even, because then the queen just takes back on c8 and the back rank is protected. There's no mate on the back rank because the queen is covering that. White will be able to win pawn f7, and this position is roughly equal. So it's important that white plays the correct move, and that is d8 queen, not taking the rook, just promoting straight to a new queen. And then it's mate in a few moves. It's check, and the only legal move here is rook takes d8, the queen takes, and all you can do is put your queen in between on e8, and queen takes e8 is checkmate. So that is the threat. The threat is d8 queen. And the only thing you really can do against this idea is sacrifice material with black. You just have to take that dangerous pawn on d7. Queen takes d7, queen takes d7. And then white has won a queen for a rook. Yes, you have 2 extra pawns, but white is already threatening to win the pawn on f7. So for example, if you play rook f8, to prevent that, and of course that rook on c8 was also attacked, so you have to move the rook. Then there is, for example, queen a7, winning the a6 pawn on the next move. And black's pawns will fall like sweet cakes, and white will not have any problems in winning this position. The queen is so much stronger than the rook. So a nice victory from the 4th world champion Alexander Alekhine, using the weakness of black's back rank. And the back rank is an important motive in chess. And this is a good example where white could just put his queen on a square that was unprotected, and he was still winning the game because of the weak back rank with all sorts of checkmate motives. So it is often a good idea to give the king some air by playing the move h7, h6. So that the king can flee if there are pieces on the back rank. It's not always the right thing to do, because sometimes the king can become weak if the pawn is played up, and knowing when to do it and when not, that is one of the difficult things in chess. This is a picture of myself at the grave of the great Alexander Alekhine. I visited his grave in October 2016. He is buried in the Montparnasse cemetery in Paris, in France. Hope you liked this video and found it entertaining and instructive. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Progress channel, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments. This is Rick from Chess to Progress. Thank you for watching.